Hey guys, so this is just going to be a sort of quick review on my KWA LM4 that's been made into a Mark 18. This gun's been out for a while, so I'm not going to go too in depth. It's a pretty common gas blowback. This was the Magpul PTS version. See, got Magpul trademarks. I got this second hand, so forgive the kind of horrible paint job that they slapped on here. I know the Magpul edition did come with these MOE grips. That's actually quite comfortable. I like them. Came with Magpul stock. Not really a big fanboy of Magpul. The only thing I really like from Magpul are their MOE grips. They are very comfortable. I guess the only real difference between a regular LM4 and the PTS is pretty much the lower. You have sort of different machining, obviously trademarks there, and on this side the machining is a little different than from a standard M4 lower that you would find. The magwell is slightly flared out more, not by much. There's probably more of like about a 3 to 4 millimeter flare to the magwell. Non-ambidextrous fire selector, standard trigger. I did do the bolt catch mod. This was a Gen 1 LM4. Basically, brief overview of the Gen 1 and Gen 2. Gen 1 was the older. The bolt release, or the bolt catch, when engaged on last round, when you load a fresh magazine in, you couldn't just simply rack the charging handle to release the bolt. You would actually have to push this down because it had a little spring and detent like on a fire selector to hold it in the upward position. I got rid of that. There's also some filing you have to do and a little bit of bending to the actual bolt catch for it to work a lot better. There's plenty of videos on that online, but I did that. Another thing between the Gen 1 and the Gen 2, the Gen 2, the upper is one cast piece like it should be. On the Gen 1s, I don't know why, the upper is in 3 pieces. The top rail, as you can see there's a pin right there, the top rail is one piece. You have the left side, and then you have the right side with 2 separate pieces, and it's pretty much held together with some screws. Would I prefer that? No. Has it been fine? Yes. I do plan on switching it to a one-piece Gen 2 upper receiver. Just peace of mind, I guess. The top rail does wiggle a little bit because it's not solidly attached. So there is some wiggle. So if you want an accurate gun with a good optic on it, make sure you have a Gen 2 or buy a Gen 2 upper. This is sort of my CQB gun, obviously, since it's Mark 18 configuration. It's more of a Mark 18 Mod 1. I'm not going to get too much into that because that's a whole different thing. When I bought it, it came with the Daniel Defense, or the Madbull licensed Daniel Defense Riz 2 Mark 18 rail. This was also painted, so I took some brake cleaner and I've been pretty much trying to get rid of all the paint. There's still some left in there, like in the little nooks and crannies. There is some paint left. So I'm probably gonna go later today and finish getting it all out. I might try to use brake cleaner on the lower. I don't know how well the stock black finish is put on. So I don't know if I really want to try and ruin the black finish that's underneath the paint yet. But I might do a little test area and see. Other than that, we got a replica EOTech. It's not a real one. It's quite nice. Got a little flashlight up here. It's pretty damn bright. Let's see what else. Oh, KWA is notorious for their hop-up units sucking ass. I'm not I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Their stock hop-up units are ass. I know I did get this secondhand, but it's not just my gun, it's other people's. They've been complaining about the same thing, where just the hop-up unit sucks. I have a friend who he bought a LM4 new. His was even the Gen 2, not even the Gen 1, and his hop-up unit sucked. I think it still sucks. He had a lot of trouble with BBs just rolling out the barrel. Yeah, his hop-up unit sucks too, so not good. They don't give good hop, or they have crazy amount of hop. The adjustment style is weird. You have to stick a tool inside the breech to adjust it instead of just an Allen key. It's a very, I feel like it's an overly complicated design that's made worse by the fact that they just didn't use the right type of parts to pull it off. Like the hop-up adjustment arm that pivots to put or to increase or decrease hop on the stock unit, it's just a flimsy piece of like sheet metal that's cut out. You can bend it easily, which is kind of a good thing sometimes. Like when I still had the stock hop-up unit in, my BBs were rolling out the barrel. So what I did was I bent the arm a little bit more, so that I was giving a little more hop-up, but you know, that means I have to take the whole gun apart pretty much just to adjust the hop-up if I had too much or too little. So took me about a day to get it shooting pretty good, but it's just not that good. Their hop-up nub is weird, their hop-up unit is weird. I don't know, for such a good rifle that they made with steel bolts, it's got a lot of steel in here. The fire selector's steel, some parts of the hammer is steel, like the bolt release is steel, like the full bolt, like the actual bolt is steel. Well, not the bolt carrier technically is steel. Like there's a lot of good steel on this gun, and they did put a lot of effort into this gun. And why would they just fuck up the hop-up unit? I don't know. But there are a few choices to upgrade. You have a Maple Leaf system, TNT hop-up unit system, and what I have is the Airsoft Ingenuity or Ingenuity Airsoft hop-up system. Guy, I think in England, pretty much prints these custom little 3D printed hop-up units, and you can have a choice of having it shipped with a Maple Leaf bucking. That's what I got. Not only because it's pretty cheap, it would cost me about $40-something compared to the TNT, which is like I think $140. I mean, that is old machined metal, it does come with an inner barrel, but $140 for just a hop-up unit and an inner barrel is a little much. I'll drop $140-something on a rail. For a hop-up unit, no. Also, those units do use the old style hop-up adjustment where you have to stick the tool inside the breech and you can only turn it like not even 1/8 of a turn of adjustment, and you don't get the wide range that you might like to. It's a little finicky to adjust and all that. His unit, 3D printed. I don't really have much experience with 3D printed materials, but it is quite strong. I have been very rough with it when I was installing and nothing broke. Very good, simple design. Obviously you put a lot of engineering thought into it, but it's very straightforward. You do use one of the screw holes for the barrel. See, in the barrel you have on the actual outer barrel there's a screw that goes up and there's a screw that goes down. On the stock configuration, the two little set screws that you use hold the inner barrel and hop-up assembly inside the outer barrel. On his assembly, the bottom screw holds this assembly together. The top screw, which you have to drill a hole for, that top screw through the outer barrel is what you use to make your hop-up adjustment. Unlike regular hop-up adjustment where you usually turn clockwise to increase hop and counterclockwise to decrease hop, it's the opposite. I'm not going to get too much into that because it's a lot of useless information unless if you do get the unit. But it's pretty well explained on his sort of description of the item. But yeah, so you do have to drill a hole. You will not be able to use a gas tube. I mean, maybe if you can drill a hole very nice through the gas tube, but I just took the gas tube out. So go straight down and pretty much, so you don't really the only modification you have to do to your gun is drill a hole through your rail. There's no other separate thing. It pretty much drops right in, and you drill a hole through your handguard or your rail just to access the hop up easier. If you want to make your life a pain in the ass, you don't have to drill a hole. Just every time you want to adjust the hop up, you're gonna have to remove your rail. So that's up to you. But yeah, did have trouble putting the hop up together. I did have, like, I put it together yesterday, and I was shooting 100 FPS or more than 100 FPS slower, and I was like, oh no. Turns out that was more my fault when installing, and also I had a bad jet valve spring in the bolt or in the nozzle. Once I replaced that and I redid the hop-up unit and put it back together, I'm back to shooting about 360 with 0.25 gram BBs. I've just been using some 0.3s, and they're shooting about 320. So yeah, let's see my plans with this gun. I have a CQBR flash hider. I don't have it clocked correctly. It's just sort of on there. I have to clock it, make sure it's set up correctly. If you don't know what clocking means, that means that you make sure that the gas ports are aligned in a certain way. As you can see, sort of almost fully tightened. The flat side is sort of, you know, towards the top when it should be right at the bottom. So you just gotta get some shims and washers just to make sure you clock that correctly. Especially this one, because this cut right down here is for a, what do you call it? It's for certain types of suppressors, more the Knight's Armament suppressors, which I do plan on getting. There's Ace Tech makes a cool tracer unit suppressor that looks like a Knight's Armament suppressor that they use in the military, and it uses a CQBR type flash hider. It pretty much goes over the flash hider and then locks in with these grooves, but you need this because that helps keep the suppressor from just turning and turning and turning. It keeps it locked in. But yeah, I plan on getting that soon. Be a little cool gun. But yeah, it's my Mark 18. It's not a GMP, surprise. You know, I already have enough GMP rifles, and I found it used, good price, came with a bunch of mags, and I thought, hey, let me pick it up, see what it's about. Very pleased. I usually don't like buying secondhand items, but this case I made a pretty good deal. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any suggestions, please let me know. If you know of a hop-up unit that I should try out, if you have any gear that I should try out, or any suggestions on what I should get for the KWA, since I am kind of new to this platform, just let me know. And I'll see you guys on the flip side.